Already put your mother.
Así se encuentra el Times Square. Son exactamente las 12:58. Aquí van a ser la 1 de la tarde. Nada más. Area Hudson.
No he echado nada, pues estoy bien frío. we are officially underway. If you're outside, look to your left. If you're inside, look to your left in a moment. We are entering the Hudson River, so this is where the miracle on the Hudson happened. January 2009, U.S. Airways Flight 1549 flew into a flock of geese, lost both of its engines, but landed safely on this river just to our left. So we're at Pier 83. Pier 86 is that USS Intrepid, that large naval carrier you see there. Out in the distance, that George Washington Bridge. If you saw the movie Sully with Tom Hanks, which is about the real-life event, very dramatic scene of the plane coming into the history of the world. $20 billion of development right here. Named Hudson Yards because it is on the Hudson River and it is above the rail yards for Penn Station. So these skyscrapers, they have trains, commuter trains underneath. Directly to our left in front of Hudson Yards, the black glass structure also has silver siding. That's the Jacob Javits Convention Center. It is our city's largest convention center. Now, other major American cities have much bigger convention centers. And there's a very big construction going on between us and that. You can see these big cranes. What they're doing is they are building an underwater tunnel, a commuter tunnel for trains. A train tunnel is what's going to be. And, you know, on track, a lot of vehicular traffic between Manhattan and New Jersey because so many people live in New Jersey but work every day. Rush hour gets intense. That George Washington Bridge is the only car bridge connecting the two. And we have two vehicular tunnels. So these underwater train tunnels become very important. It's a full-time
And it's day?
It's days for these fast moving cars. I think I have a lot of things that and the commuter ferries are amazing. So this is for people working and they want to hop on the boat and the two bridge traffic. Pier 30 is doesn't work down here. South Street is the original New York City. It's the original. I'm going to jump into there's like a white just to our left, there's a stone building which has 6 levels. And in the moment as we pass by, you'll see that it's actually connected to one building. There's a wall connected to the other right behind it. This is the Jewish Heritage Museum. There's a Jewish History Museum in town. This Heritage Museum is 20th century, so it's essentially a Holocaust museum. 6 levels, 6 sides, representing larger and more culturally moving of the many museums in this downtown area. Just rebuilt a seawall here. The white tent is airport-style security. located in Battery Park. Battery, that's what we call the southern tip of Manhattan, gets its name because the word battery and there is also port. So in the colonial days, where Governor's Island gets its name because in the colonial days, the Dutch, when this was New Amsterdam, and then the British took residences of their governors here. And it was strategic, it was prestigious, as I said, to be surrounded. The Staten Island Ferry is coming up on our left, orange, blue, and white. Those are the colors of the New York City flag. You see flying on top of the ferry. And that's why those are the colors of many of our sports teams, like the New York Mets and the New York Knicks. But that goes back to the Dutch flag of 1675, which is what our city flag is based on when this was New Amsterdam. And so it's the Royal House of Orange, blue for royalty, white for purity, and those in this bridge. We had none of this. As I said, the tallest thing on Manhattan Island was the church steeples. And we were constructing these bridge towers up ahead. Brooklyn Heights on the right was becoming the first commuter suburb of New York. Robert Hilton was docking a steam-powered ferry here. It was a brand new invention. From the water, we would not have seen the buildings at all on Manhattan. What we would have seen is tall sailing ships. They would have lined this shore. You can see 3 masts up ahead at the South Street seaboard. There is one tall ship left. But imagine ships like that lining the Manhattan shore. And the sailors on these ships in the 19th century, they would have referred to the top mast of their ship as the skyscraper. That word was nautical slang that didn't begin to apply to buildings until New Yorkers started to say, when you made them as tall as the ships, well, these new buildings are as tall as skyscrapers. That did not happen in any great quantity until after the Brooklyn Bridge. And that's because this is in mind. And that is nice for us today. Because you will also see a lot of people up on the bridge on a sunny Saturday. They're walking across the Brooklyn Bridge. It is maybe the best free thing you can do in New York City. When you are walking on that bridge, you are on the original wood path that was built for horse and buggy. You are elevated above the car traffic. You barely notice there's beautiful skyline views and river views, but more importantly, that first-hand close-up view. Part of the price you pay for the food is, of course, the view. Beautiful views from the River Cafe. But you get the same views just walking around. You can come over this bridge, as I said. You can catch one of the fast commuter ferries over here as well. And then Brooklyn Bridge Park, very popular. You're going to see this carousel encased in glass. James Carousel was originally built in Ohio, 1921, rebuilt for Brooklyn in 2010, and it's open to the public. It sits in front of all these old warehouse and factory-looking buildings on the right. Almost all of these buildings have been converted to luxury residential. And this trendy neighborhood, like Soho and Tribeca before it, has an abbreviated name. This is Dumbo Brooklyn on the right. Yes, like the elephant. Dumbo Brooklyn stands for Down Under the Manhattan Bridge Overpass. 1990s. So you have a thriving music scene here. You have a lot of privately owned restaurants, a very young community, very artistic community. And really the culture from the village over decades spills out. It spills east. So, and it comes over the Williamsburg Bridge on the L train. So up ahead on the left, you're going to see these brick buildings originally built as affordable housing in what we call Alphabet City, as it is ABCD. So the West Village is directly across Greenwich Village, but then increasingly New Yorkers may refer to Alphabet City in the area in front of it as the East Village. The nickname sort of followed the culture and then arrived over here in Williamsburg. Domino Park is right on the border here in front of where there used to be a Domino sugar factory. I know, it looks like it's still there. But in fact, they've kept the exterior of the factory, the brick walls, and built a new high-tech office building encased in glass within the brick. The old and the new, right? The industrial feel, the modernization. They even left the sign up there and refinished it. The park has the old syrup containers. We're slowing down, which means we'll be turning around in a moment. The smokestacks are a power plant at 14th Street. Behind it, in the distance, at 34th Street, there again is Empire. Empire is in the center of Manhattan, 34th Street and 5th Avenue. And then up ahead, the other very tall buildings you see, striped blue building with a white antenna, that's One Vanderbilt. The very dark black one, that is the brand new ominous JP Morgan headquarters. And then as we turn around, there's a rectangular building with no windows on the side. It's up in the distance. That's 42nd Street. That's the United Nations. You'll see that in the right in a moment as we turn around in front of the 59th Street Queensboro Bridge in the distance. Let's quickly fade out of view behind the not quite as beautiful Verizon building. Now the Verizon building recently voted one of the ugliest in New York. That's not me, just what they said. But that's because it was originally not built for humans. It was built for computer servers. They no longer need it for that, so they converted it to office space, which means that the windows are a sort of architectural afterthought. Ahead of that, another Gothic-style building, almost looks like a cathedral in the distance. Once the tallest building in the world, now almost hard to point out, that is the Woolworth building, the Cathedral of Commerce, built in 1813. If you saw the movie Enchanted, the dragon scene took place on top of Woolworth. If you didn't see Enchanted, what are you doing? You should see that movie. The sort of large square building, that is Pier 17. They do a very popular summer concert series over there. New Yorkers loudly rejected that song. Green is her signature color of her orange song. But she has been here in the public since October of 1880.
Fíjate, estoy grabando.